Hey Flosstube, it's Gina, stitching with my bestie. Today is Tuesday, May the 12th, and this is Flosstube number 19. It's good to be back. Sorry I hadn't been around much lately, but had a lot going on with things, and I hope everybody had a great Mother's Day. We had a good one. We actually got to see a few of our grandchildren and children. Of course, we did our social distancing when we saw them, and my son baked me a carrot cake, which is my favorite thing, and we had that with them. Let's see what else. What else has been going on? Not really anything else. So I hope everybody's well. Everybody's staying home, and I guess some people are getting back to work and back to going out and everything. I'm still staying home. We're here in Louisiana. We're still stay at home. So anyway, yeah, I'm ready to get started and show y'all. I have a finish. I'm so excited to show y'all this because it's been a long time in coming. So the first thing I'm going to show you today is my blackbird. I finished it. This is Blackbird Designs, Loose Feathers, and it's summer, autumn, and winter. They just actually reprinted this program, so it's available, but it's been such a great stitch. I've really enjoyed it. I started it last May the 12th of last year, and I finished it on the 28th of this year. I didn't work on it the whole time. You know, I just worked on it periodically throughout the time. So it did take me almost a year to do, but I just worked on it, enjoyed it whenever I felt like it, and I'm so glad to have it done. So now I can get it framed. I stitched it on 14 count Picture This Plus Legacy. It was before I started ever using linen. So I used to only stitch on Ada, and I just love it. It's so pretty, the fabric is. And I did use all the called for colors for it. So I'm so proud of it. Alright. And then let me just take this off of here so I can put my next thing on. Okay, and the next thing I did, I had another finish. And I finished Valentine's Rose, and that is Anniversaries of the Heart, and it's the one I'm doing with all 14 patterns on one piece. So this is number 2, and I'm stitching this on French Roast, R&R French Roast, and I did change some of the colors. So let me show you. This is the 2 patterns that I've done so far. But I just finished the Valentine Rose one. The only thing I haven't finished on here is the door. And the reason why I didn't do the door is because you're supposed to put like initials and names and things of people and dates. And I wasn't sure if I was going to use an initial on that door for whoever I put on that one. So I'm just kind of leaving it for right now. So what I changed, let me fold this smaller so I can show you. So what I changed was, alright, I got my little notes here because it's a lot. On this border right here, it was supposed to be old hickory, and I just don't think the old hickory is the same color as it used to be. So I changed it to moss. And I also changed this vine, you know, the greenery right here and here to moss, and that was supposed to be what was it? Let's see, apple cider, and it didn't look, there was no green in it. It's very light, so I didn't use it. And the roof I changed from picnic basket to cocoa, and if you look real closely, it's got some little Smyrnas in there. I don't know if you can see that or not. These birds right here were supposed to be charcoal, but when I started stitching them, it looked really green, so I changed it to carriage black. And this one right here was supposed to be acorn, so I changed it to sable. And then the door will be sable too. What else did I change? The dark part in here I used carriage black on too for the oh, and I know what it was. All the mortar and the curtains were supposed to be what was it called? Flax. And when I started stitching it, it was very yellow and it just didn't look right to me, so I changed it to onion skin. So those are the things I changed. Now right down here, these flowers, they're supposed to be, you're supposed to stitch around them. I don't know if you can see them, with a chain stitch. But when I started doing that, it just did not look right. It just was too thick and all that. So I think what I'm going to do is, after I put the initials on and stuff like that and stitch that door, I'm going to just back stitch them instead of doing the chain stitch, because I just felt like the chain stitch was too much. It was just like you couldn't even tell they were flowers anymore. And so I'll just do that later. But I'm pretty much, you know, that's, to me, that's finished for right now, because I have some other stuff I have to remember to do. I mean, some, like the names and stuff. So that's the second finish. And now I can start one of my StitchMania. The next thing I wanted to do was to do the next pattern. And so when I get to the show y'all what I'm going to do for finish for StitchMania, start for StitchMania, I will show you what's the next pattern for that. So that was the, oops, my blanket's falling down. My cat loves that blanket. It's so furry. This is her favorite place to sit. Let me see. Is this it? Yeah, that's the Anniversaries of the Heart. Okay, so the next thing is, pull this over here. Where is it at? Okay. The next thing I'm going to show you is a Savior's Praise. So I worked on this some more. Remember, this was my birthday start. And if you remember, I told y'all I was stitching this on 32 count weeks in the color linen. So that's my next one. I think I can just hold this one up here and show y'all what I've done. Okay. So, well, maybe not. It's so much easier when you can clip things down. Okay, so I had done this up here, mostly all of this, and this part of the first this. I'm not sure I'd been did this far over. I think I'd only done to maybe the C. So I finished the D and the E, and then I started stitching. I'm kind of working on this one page, so I filled in some more down here, and I started down here in this part right here, and with this alphabet. So it's really been a fun stitch because there's so many different things to stitch. This right here is the B. I need to put his wings on. So, and this is a flower, I think. I'd have to look at it and see. I can't remember. Yeah, it is. It's a flower coming out of a basket. So that's where I'm at. So right now I'm right here on this pattern. I'm stitching this right here. So it's been a lot of fun. Really am enjoying it. Okay, so let me take this off. I wonder if y'all are stitching as much as I am. It seems like that's all I do is stitch. Okay, so the next one is this La-Di-Da, Awake My Soul. I didn't do too much on this one. I had mostly everything done on here. I finished this G, And then I started stitching this flower right here. So pretty much everything else was done on here. That's done. I did fill in some more of this border with the lighter color and then went down. I mean, I think I had already went down with that. I might have went a little bit farther. But that's, there's a lighter color in here that you stitch between. I know I did a little bit of that too, because I'm just doing it a little bit at a time. So that's all I got done on that. And I'm stitching this on 36 count Legacy Edinburgh linen, and 1/2 is my first 36 count that I'm stitched on. Yeah, this one goes here. Making sure I'm putting them all back in the same order. Okay, this one here, let me pin it up first. I hope y'all's StitchManias are going good. I follow a lot of people on Instagram and they seem to be having a good time, and they're on Facebook. And I just can't imagine people who are starting 30 or is there 30 or 31 days? I can't ever remember. I can't do that many. I've got too many webs. Okay, so this is Rosy Morning. It's my next one. And I had all this done. I'm working on the house. There's that bird, and then there's the rest of this border. So I had done all the way up to here, and I had started on the house. So this is where I'm at now. I've got all the windows and doors in on the house. And I'm working on filling in, and then I've got this started on this brick down here. I didn't figure out whenever I was stitching down here that I actually added one stitch too high, but I said forget it. I just made my door a little bit bigger and it all worked out fine. Right here I haven't decided what I'm going to put, if I'm going to put 2020 and put my initials, put somebody's name and their birth date. I'm going to wait till I get done with all the rest of this, and then I'll go back and figure out, and then I just have to fill in that. So it's been a lot. And then I had done up to here, and I continued on with this a little bit too. So getting close to being done, because I have the bird and a few more alphabets, and then the border. There'll be 1-2 more of these flowers, and then the border comes down. So not much more. Very exciting. I think I should have this finished by the time I see y'all next time. When I film next time, that'll be my goal, is to get this one finished. I'm trying to do some finishes between all the big projects, and now this, all the starts from StitchMania. That's what's so crazy. I don't know if I told y'all that I started that Anniversaries of the Heart, that Loose Feathers Summer, Winter, Autumn, Winter in May of last year, and then finished it in April of this year. And so that was kind of, as little as I worked on it, I didn't work on it for long periods of time, and I got it done in a year, so that was pretty good, I thought. Okay, so the next one I'm going to show you that I worked on again was Heartstring Samplery, His Eyes on the Sparrow. And I'm telling you, this picture does not do this, justice. It is such a beautiful pattern. I'm doing this on Vintage Country Mocha. And let me put it on here so it won't fall down. I need to get some of those really long, they have clips that are longer than these that work better for big things like this. But I don't have any. I have a bunch of these little ones because I use them on my binding when I'm quilting, and I also use them when I'm piecing for sewing. Okay, so here is this. I was done all the way down to here. I actually finished this peacock. I got my thread for that, so I finished the peacock. I did this and this and this here, and this little thing here, this little motif. It's really pretty. I just love this. The colors are so beautiful. And I don't think I'm changing anything on here. I think I've used all the called for colors. And it's just been really a lot of fun to stitch. If I ever get done with it, maybe I'll stitch the Lilies of the Valley, but I know that if I do, I will stitch it on a smaller count, because this thing's going to be humongous. Absolutely humongous. Okay, so here's this. And this is the thing I usually stitch on Sunday. I haven't stitched on it every Sunday, but I have stitched on it a little bit. Books of the Bible by My Big Toe. And this is where I'm at. So I've started stitching another flower at the top, and I've started stitching another name. I haven't stitched on this side, and I finished the top. This border is got down here. Let me show you. I did all that and this, and I think I finished Judges, started Ruth, and it's getting close to being that top border being done. I've only got one more flower, well, the green on that one, and then one more flower and it's done. So it's really going to be pretty. Tina actually stitched this, and she finished hers and framed it. It's beautiful, and my sister's stitching it with me, so we've been enjoying it. And I try to work on it every Sunday, but this last Sunday I didn't, because I started something for StitchMania on Sunday. Okay, so for StitchMania, I will show you the first thing, 4 things that I started already. So these are my beginning starts for StitchMania. The first one I did, I bought this pattern at the Silver Needle when I went last summer, and my sister did too. She stitched it, and it's by Heart and Hand. It's needle and thread. It says my soul is fed with needle and thread, and so I'm stitching it on. I believe this is 32 count. Is that what I said to stitch it on? Yeah, it's 32 count, but I'm stitching it on Vintage Country Mocha, because I had Vintage Country Mocha. It called for doubloon, but I love this. I think it's going to be so pretty. So that's how much I got done on the first day that I started stitching it. And then, so that was my first StitchMania start. And I'm using some of the called for colors and some DMC called for colors. I just used whatever I had. So, all right, my second start for StitchMania was this right here. And it says, "The Lord is good, and his love endureth forever." So I'm stitching that. And I'm stitching this on, I want to say this is 32 count cream Lugana. Not positive. So that's how far I got. But I do not like this called for gold or the called for blue, and these are the DMC colors. So I am going to pull those out and pick a different color of my own. So when you see it, it'll look a little different. And I kind of used mostly, I think I'm using mostly DMC. A couple of, I picked a couple of over dyes of my own choosing. So we'll see how it looks. Whenever, I haven't got to that point yet, so I'm not going to tell y'all exactly what I'm using until I use it, because I might change my mind again. But I will tell y'all, you know, when I get done with it, what colors I used. So those are two, and then the third one I started, which I love this one. It's so cute. It is by Little House Needleworks, and it's called Home Sweet Home. Isn't that just the cutest little pillow? Now, if you remember, I'm trying to keep these all small because I do not need any big projects. You saw how many huge projects I have, and that's not even all of them. So I'm trying to keep it small, and so I have some stuff to work on, some smalls to work on between my big projects, because I get a little bit tired of working on my big ones, and that way I have something small and I can get some finishes done. So this is how much I stitched on this. I did not want to put this down. I really just wanted to keep stitching on it forever. It was so pretty. So that's how much I did on that. And then the only thing I changed is it called for a color called Wilderness, and when I got the color, it didn't look anything like green. It just, you see all these pretty greens in here? It did not look, it was like brownish, blackish. It just was so ugly. So I actually changed this to pea pod. That's the only thing I've changed on it. So I just love it, though. I really think I might stitch on this a little bit today because it's how much I like it. And that color there, that red, is cherry cobbler, and it's one of my favorite colors. I just love that cherry cobbler. And then the fourth one I started this on Sunday for my Sunday stitch. I just wanted to start something, since I was going to start something on Sunday, I wanted to start something religious. So I started this. It's called Praise Jesus. And I did change the color of the brown because I just felt like when I pulled the color, it didn't look right. It was too light. So this is how much I've done so far. And I changed the brown to a limited edition Gentle Arts that I got from somewhere. Somebody was selling some limited edition ones, and so I got it, and that's what I used because I like the color. So that's the only thing I changed on there. As you see, I've got my Duchess hoop. This is what I'm using now to stitch with. They are so light, and it's just really neat to me because I just feel like, you know, sometimes I think about, I wonder who stitched with this and who they were and how long ago it was, and you know how many people it got passed down to, and so it kind of just makes me feel like it brings me like closer to other women in you know, the past who used to embroidery and stitch. So I really love I love these wooden hoops. I have a couple of Princess, a couple of Duchess, and I have a couple of I just bought a Hold Tight, and I can't think of what the other one's called. Just some different ones that I found, and I just love them. So that's kind of what I've been stitching with now. I just found that my Q-snaps were just too big and heavy for me. I haven't stitched lightly with them, but I have all of them, and I think I'm going to keep my smaller ones, but that's just what I've been stitching with all the time now, so I love it. Okay, so here's the next. So that was how many, that's 5 StitchMania things, because it's the 4 I started, and also, nope, I'm sorry, that's 4, because I didn't show you it. I didn't show you the one any one that I hadn't started yet. This is the one I was number 5. Okay, so number 5 is Summer House by Blackbird Design. And I'm just going to stitch this on, this is 32 count cream Lugana. So that's what I'm stitching it on. And then I'm using the Call for Colors. This isn't all of them. There's a couple missing. I still haven't got pulled the, because it had some DMC and I haven't pulled that yet. But look how pretty that's going to be. Those colors. And here's some weeks. This blue right here. I just love this blue. It's beautiful. Isn't that going to be rich? So I can't wait to get started on this. So that's number 5. Number 6 is going to be the bonus pattern from Anniversaries of the Heart. Remember, there's 12 books and there's 2 bonus patterns, and this bonus pattern is a little sampler. So it shouldn't really take me long to do that. I'll definitely, I want to get it started because I know I can finish this by the end of the month. And that way I can start my next one, number 4, in June. And it only puts me, I should be starting number 5. So it only puts me that, two behind. And if I get done with this one quicker, even though there's still, there's still half the month left, I could even start the next one just because I need to. So my goal originally was to do one a month, but I got really bogged down with that first one because I had to change every color on it, and it just it was a little overwhelming for me. And so I don't know why I just couldn't make decisions, because the second one I just figured out, I'm going to use this, and that's what I did. So this one I have all the colors except for one I'll have to order, and so I'm looking forward to starting this one next. Let me put this in the right spot. It's down here at the bottom. Okay. Let's see. This one is by Lizzie Kate, and it is called Joy to the World. So I'm going to stitch this one. And I love this little thing. I think this would make a really cute ornament, so I might do that in July for Jolly July. But I do want to get this one started, and if I don't stitch on it anymore in July, my goal is to work on ornaments, and then I'll work on this too in July to finish it, if I don't get it finished before then. Because I don't really have a plan to definitely finish it right, these right away. They're just my smalls. And I'm using some tea-dyed, is this Lugana or... Yeah, it's tea-dyed Lugana, and it actually came from Michael's. I bought it and whenever I was first starting to do that, to try different things like Lugana and Monica and stuff, I got that, so that's what I'm doing that on. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is number 8. Number 8 is Liberty Lane. I have been wanting to stitch this, and it's really kind of a little bigger than I had planned on, because you remember I was trying to keep my stuff 100 by 100, and this one is 160 by 85. So it's a tiny bit bigger, but I'm just starting it, so I don't feel like, I have to finish it right away. I don't think I'm going to get it done for the 4th of July this year, but if I don't start it, I won't get it started. So I'm stitching it on, this is, gosh, what is this? Not sure. Let me see if I wrote it down. Yes, it's 28 count beige Jobelin. So that's what I'm stitching it on, and I'm using Priscilla's changes to this. See, I'm not sure if I'm using all of them, but I am using her changes. And I will go along, and if I decide I don't like something, I'll change it to what I want. But that's the colors that I've decided to use for right now. So that's number 8. This is number 9. And it is the Suffrage Act. And it is by Little House Needleworks. And I'm stitching this on, I am using some, sorry, I've got a mess here. I am using some DMC and some overdyed. Let me see what it calls for. It calls for DMC, but then it has the names for, Classic Colorworks names. I think I'm using a lot of Classic Colorworks and then a few DMCs. But anyway, I decided to do it on this sand Picture This Plus 16 count. I just think it's so pretty. It probably would look better if I put it on this white. Actually, on this side. There, you can really see what it looks like. And I just had this. I had bought this one for it, and now that I'm stitching on linen, it's fine. But this, I do like to occasionally stitch on some Ada, just so I have something that I don't have to use my magnifier with all the time, because I have to use my magnifier to stitch on linen. I can't see well enough. So that's what I'm doing for that. And then this is number 10. And I'm not exactly sure which one I'm going to use, so I'm going to show y'all. This is what I'm stitching. I'm making this little thread keep. It does have this sampler, but I didn't want to start that right now. So the called for fabric is Baby's Breath, and it's 30 count, and I could not find 30 count, so I got, this is 35 count, and this is the color of it. But I actually got this 28 count. Oops, I'm throwing my threads everywhere. This 28 count Cashel linen called Murmur. And I really kind of like it. It's not quite as orange as this one. So I may end up using this 28. This is really going to make that smaller, and this is going to make it a tiny bit bigger. So I just need to decide which I want to do. I'm definitely going to probably do the sampler on this one, because this is just too small for me to do the sampler on. I want it to be a little bit bigger than that, because it's only, the sampler is called Summer Basket, and it's only, let's see, 206 by 76. And then the thread keep is 56 by 48. So I'm just afraid if I do it on this 35 count, it's going to be so small that I might not like it. But I'm gonna think about it. So I'm doing it on one or the other of these. I'm not sure which. I got these from 2 different people. I got these from my local needlework shop, Accents, and I got this one. I don't remember who I ordered that one from. I ordered, I've been ordering fabric from a lot of different people lately, so it's confusing. But the colors are so beautiful for this, thread keep. I did add in this purple, because this was just too dark for me, but I'm not sure if I'm even going to use that. I bought several different purples to try to kind of see which one I like the best. So that's my number 10. So that is the 10 things that I will be starting. Let me get a sip of my drink real quick. All right. So I have had haul, but most of it has been thread, and it's all like been dispersed throughout my projects, like you've seen most of it. And then I bought a bunch of fabric, and you saw some of that. This is some I haven't used yet. This is 28 count Lugana. It's called Cameo Rose. It is a huge piece, but it was such a good price that I just bought it. And I know I can figure something out to do for my granddaughters or something. It's like 21 by 29, and I got it for like $12. So you couldn't beat that. It's just so pretty. I just love it. It's like such a soft, muted pink. I hear my cat meowing, looking for me. I'm in here. And then I also bought some country mocha. It's not the vintage, it's just the country, and I got it in several different things. This right here was a really big piece I got to do maybe a sampler on, and it is 32 count linen. And then this here is 28 count country mocha. And then I got is this 28 count? I think this is 30. No, this is 32 count Lugana, and it's country mocha. And then I got a piece of Ada in country mocha, and it is 18 count. I needed this to do some Christmas ornaments. I like to do my Christmas ornaments on Ada because I just feel like they're sturdier and they're gonna last longer. They're not gonna, you know, when you pack them away and put them away and for the year, I just feel like, you know, they're gonna hold up better this way. So I do use, and this, so I thought this would be really pretty for some of my ornaments for Jolly July. So I got that. And then I just happened across this pattern. Somebody had found a bunch of these patterns, and I had wanted this pattern so much, and it was not available. And she found some in her shop, and she was, I guess, a lot of people are finding things in their shops because they're, you know, they've got time to go through stuff since they're not fully open right now. And so this is it. It's called A Most Noble Pursuit. And it's was done in 2006, Sampler Circle, and it's done, was it 10 different, 10 different designers, Primitives, Traditions, Hands to Work, Bright Needle, The Work Basket, Praiseworthy Stitches, Patricia Ann Designs, With My Needle, Lottie Da, Stitch in a Prayer, and Carriage House Samplings. And this is all the thread for all those patterns. It is 55 different threads. So I'm really excited. I haven't even looked at each pattern, but at least it breaks it down to what threads you need for each pattern. So you could just maybe, if you wanted to, just buy the thread as you go. So, but yeah, I'm excited. I'm not going to start it anytime soon because that's another big project. But maybe after I finish Anniversaries of the Heart, this will be my next one. Maybe my next year big stitch for multiple patterns. So, but I was so excited to get it, and I can't wait to start it. So I'm gonna start like maybe buying a few things for it as I go throughout the year. So anyway, that's pretty much it. I don't think I had any more haul. I had a lot of thread. Like I said, I've been stocking up on my threads, my overdyes, because I know that they're running out of them right now because of the lockdown at DMC in France, and also you know, just not being able to get the base threads for them to over dye, so I've been trying to get what I need, go through my patterns and figure out what I want to use, you know. So anyway, y'all have a good day, and I guess I'll see y'all next time. Talk to you later. Bye.